All right, guys, welcome to the Man United Agenda. We've just finished watching the live stream of Man United 4, Newcastle 1, and now we're going to do a post-match review. Hello, TALKMU. How you doing?
Yes, good.
Good. Hello, everyone out there, all the fans of Man United Agenda. My name's OMONDI JUMA. We just finished watching Man United beat Newcastle 4-1 on the return, the second debut of Ronaldo. He got a brace. Also, Bruno Fernandes scores and Lingard scores. We conceded the goal, but overall we got the 3 points. And the atmosphere was golden. I'm sure it was. From the Man United Agenda, we had Harshal Shah at the ground reporting. So if you tune in on Monday, he will give us a special insight into what it was like at the ground. But as for now, we're going to do a little post-match review on the game, what me, myself, and Paul TALKMU just witnessed. How are you, TALKMU?
Yeah, good. I mean, obviously I'm pleased with the result. However, I'm not overly happy, especially with the first half. It wasn't good enough in anybody's vocabulary, to be fair. The second half, we did improve later, after 10-15 minutes of the second half. And I mean, I'm so demanding. I always want.
That's true.
I always want better. You know.
That's true.
Yeah, I mean,
I noticed today. You know, TALKMU, I noticed today you were getting really frustrated during the game. Because we were struggling to break them down, and the slip play was too slow, and a few sort of mental lapses that you were almost screaming about. I mean, do you think the expectation was too high based on the return of Ronaldo? Did you expect it to be that to be a catalyst to transform us into like a free-flowing team who can score 10 goals a game? I mean, what? Do you think your expectations were too high? What were you expecting out there today?
No,
post-match, what were you saying? Pre-match, what were you saying?
I don't think my expectations were too high. I just think we seem to be making the same mistakes. We're doing the same things, which is holding on to the ball too long, pinging it sideways, it's going forward, then it's coming sideways, then it's going back, then it's going sideways, and then we're not getting things done quick enough. We're just not getting things done, quick enough, and it's so frustrating because, again, for me, the fact that we're playing a Newcastle team that's really only got one threat in, say maximum. That's it's like he's got legs if he gets it and he tries running us, which he did. Fortunately for us, he had nobody to support him, so he had to try and hold the ball up, which gave us enough time to get back in and defend. But this is a poor Newcastle side with supposedly poor manager. Now, again, for me, if we come up against better teams who can do what Newcastle have just done, but better, and have got a much more potent threat on the counter, where are we then?
I think you make some good points, but kind of harsh. Because it's an international show, I'm bringing on our special guest, and that's going to be OS. OS, how you doing?
Very, very good. Very good.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. Just stop right there. I see you wearing your retro Man United top. Yeah. And I'm also going to bring on Kahinde as well.
Yes, big up.
Kahinde, how you doing? All right. So myself and TALKMU just watched the game. Firstly to you, OS, what was your expectation going into the game pre-match about Ronaldo? And did you think it was going to make a major difference to the way our style of play?
First of all, definitely thought he was going to make a difference in terms of mentality. I think that was the important thing. I always knew that the level of excitement was going to be high. I knew that the fans were going to be buzzing, like, and even Ronaldo couldn't contain himself at the beginning, smiling and laughing with the fans, because, you know, when you get that type of reception, there's nothing else you can expect more from the fans, you know. But what I expected from the game was I expected to be dominant. I expected to be intense as well, really pressurizing. I expected also to be a little bit more quicker on the ball with the passing. I felt like that's what I didn't get in the final third. That's the only thing, but it improved over time. It improved when Newcastle started getting tired, and we grew more and more into the game. We started well, but it's difficult when you play against 9 men who go behind the ball. You know, no matter how many good players you have, it's difficult. And you're seeing Sancho, you know, struggle with that because he's not used to that in the Bundesliga. He's got space behind those defenders. But you know what? I'm really, really happy, man. Especially that third goal. Like, that's what I want Man United to build on. Like that type of play where they're confident, quick one-touch football, and just slice the defense open.
Beautiful. So you said the 3 factors you wanted us to be dominant, intense. Do you think we were dominant today?
Definitely dominant, definitely intense. From the beginning, there was times where we kind of drifted off, but I mean that will come. That will come. It's only the fourth game of the season, you know. Through fitness, that will come. And then the 5th one was the quick passes on the ball, like not spending too long on the ball. I felt like that's where we lacked a little bit, especially in the final third. But you know what? I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to be too much on the negative. If there's one negative I would take from the game, I would just say we need to really fix up on this concentration at the back. You know, I mean, there's times where I feel, even though they didn't really create clear-cut chances, I feel like there's times where we always concede these silly chances to opponents where you don't see that with Chelsea, or you don't see that with Liverpool at times when they have their full back line. So I think we just need to work on that. Varane, again, for me, was exceptional.
Okay.
That's what I thought. I thought he was really good at the back. He had one moment at the beginning, but throughout, I thought he really grew into the game again.
So do you anything to say about Newcastle United? Do you think they set up well? Do you think they frustrated us? Is it because of them, or is it? I'm trying to look for some balance here. Do you think it's because of the way Newcastle set up defensively, always in front of us, inviting us to play through them, or do you think we really should have created more chances?
No, you know, Amanda, you make a very, very good point. Half the time we always talk about our team and we talk about what we could have done better. Sometimes also really forgetting about what the opposition did. I mean, they had a game plan. You can see they worked on a game plan to sit behind the ball and use the pace of Saint Maximum, and I think it was Almiron, use their pace to get in behind. And you know, they did well. They did very well when they were counter attacking. You know, it looked like they could cause us problems, even though they didn't cause us a lot. But defensively, they defended as a team all the time. So for them to defend like that and approach the game like that, and it was 1-0 at halftime, I mean, you have to give credit to Manchester United as well for scoring 4 goals, you know, past the team that's 10 bodies behind them.
I'm sorry, Aris. I think you're going to get an argument now because during the live stream, TALKMU was a bit frustrated. He said we expected a bit more. So moving on to Kahinde, how you doing?
Oh, you're muted, mate.
You're muted.
Sorry, bro. Yeah.
How you doing, Kahinde? You okay?
I'm good, thank you.
Showing all your teeth today. You're very happy, yeah?
Yeah. Obviously happy with the result. It's what I expected. I expect us to get a comfortable win. I saw most of that the game. Some goals I didn't see. I heard the goal that we conceded. Apparently, Maguire was out of position. He did a tackle like quite high up the pitch, and then it was like a 3-on-2. So just one of those things. Maybe we just got a bit laxer, you know. But from what I did see from most of the stream, when it was good, was that we were kind of in control of the game. I do agree from what I was saying. Maybe the pace, the passing, maybe could have been a bit quicker, zipping it around a bit more. I heard Matic, I see he had a few little lapses of concentration towards the end. Maybe his legs are getting tired or something. Other than that, obviously it's a good win, and obviously Lingard coming on and getting his goal and all that, and Donny getting on the pitch and all that. That's a positive. It was good that them two got a run out as well, and obviously Ronaldo, of course. But This is to be
I
expected.
was wondering when you're going to say that.
Well, it's to be expected. Do I need to talk about it? It's Ronaldo here. So, but yeah, I think in terms of like the ball progression and quick passing, I mean, I'm not. I like Matic. Don't get me wrong, and I'm not going to criticize him because he's a good player. But from when I see it,
no buts then.
okay. But I'm just saying something I've observed about him is that sometimes he takes too many touches on the ball when he doesn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like him to just like zip 1-2 touches, and sometimes he's carrying it. And by the time he does it, takes 2-3 touches. They're already set up in position. I think he needs to just zip it a bit more. When Donny plays that deep position, he zips it 1-2 touch passing. James Garner as well. If you ever watch him, he passes the ball quickly from that position. And Pogba's the one that's supposed to really look out for those long balls, through balls, or whatever it is. That's the creative thing. But that's what I've observed when I've noticed Matic on the pitch is too many touches.
Brilliant, guys. Brilliant. Right. What we're going to do, there's a lot of comments here. I'm going to go through the comments. If you want to stop me on any comments, anyone just shout in, and we have a discussion about it. And then I'm going to talk about the lineup, and then we're going to talk about the plays, the patterns of plays, how we scored the goals, everything else. So welcome everyone to the Man United Agenda. Mike Green, Ronaldo, how's it go? Zoop. What does that mean? Who knows? But here we go. Solo, how you doing, Solo? He's probably at work watching the game. Big up, Solo. We love you. Mike Green again says, we were dragged for the first 40 minutes of that game. TALKMU, yes or no?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Rich Sports says, Ronaldo and never in doubt. Was there any doubt there after 40 minutes, according to Mike Green? I'm not sure. Andy Herbert, Arsenal supporter. Good win, guys. Ronaldo with 2 goals at his age. Best in the world, he says. Linville, how you doing, Linville? Says, good evening, lads. Yes, we're fine. Hope you enjoyed the game. And Linville Jr. says Lingard should start most games. He showed it in the World Cup qualifiers today. Well, good shout. But I don't know whether I agree that he showed it in the World Cup qualifier today. It was like an identical goal he scored at the end to what he scored for England, isn't it? I don't know about being a start in most games. What do you think, OS?
You can argue that, he's in better form right now than Sancho, but the only way Sancho can build up to that form is by having minutes and by having games. So it's a very difficult predicament for Oli right now and how to manage that situation. But if he can give Sancho 60 minutes in a game, 70 minutes to try and always bring Lingard on, always get him involved, then I think we're good. And then start Lingard in some cup games as well. And I think, you keep both parties happy then.
Puff, give other thoughts about Lingard starting?
Not for me. I mean, listen, he brings value to the team. Otherwise, Ollie's not, Ollie wouldn't have kept him. And I do think Ollie's playing a bit of a game here with him for the deal that he's going to try and strike with West Ham for Declan Rice. They're going to try and maybe get something moving in January, in my opinion, because that's when West Ham are going to really need Jesse Lingard in January.
So it's like a make weight for that transfer, you think?
So it's like, and they're going to be also showing that to West Ham. Look at the player that you've already had this player. Look what he's doing here for us. He's not getting loads of game time, but the game time that he does get, if he keeps performing like he is doing, it's a big shot window for West Ham, and they're going to keep looking at it. They're going to keep looking at it. Every time they see Jesse Lingard getting minutes for Man United and doing well, and especially getting a goal, then they're going to want him.
There's no way though. Sorry, there's no way that we can use Lingard in any make way of a deal because he's in his last year now. Isn't he in his last year?
His contract's up at the end of the season. If we're going to sell him, we should have done it in the summer.
Yeah, but
so we're not going to get any value for him in January, and I don't think we're going in for Rice either.
I
hope not.
There's an option. I mean, we all know that things can change overnight.
I think
why we offered him a new contract, so there's more value on him. If he signs it, then we can sell him next summer. That's why we've done it, because if you look at it, the guy's 28. He's been at the club for over 10 years. He's not going to get any better. He's not going to get in the first team. He's a squad player. So in my mind, I'm thinking, why didn't we just sell him in the summer? And I also heard that we rejected like 20 million from West Ham. So I don't know what's going on. Like, in terms of our departures and everything, you see how much Chelsea make on their departures? We are so poor.
Yeah.
And we've got these players on big contracts as well. And that's another reason why it's difficult to sell them on. Look at
Kehinde. Kahinde, and I throw this out to all of you guys. Is it a bit deceptive then? Because he's come on late in the game when Newcastle tired and he scored again. He'd done this against England, for England the other day, came on late in the game and scored. And he looks like, he's scoring goals. But is it deceptive because he's coming on late in the games against tired defences?
No, I don't think it's deceptive. I think he's actually playing well. I think he's actually in form. He's playing well. If you really watch him off the ball, his movement is amazing. One of the best, I think, at Man United, his movement. So I think he just got his confidence back now. Since he's been at West Ham, he's got his confidence back. I do agree with TALKMU, though. I don't think that he's a starter for Manchester United. When everybody's on their game, he's not a starter for sure. But we have to give him his respect for what he's done.
I hope that answers your question there, Romeo, about Lingard being a starter. Moving on, lovely results there. Yeah, Linville's happy. Annie Herbert says, I've won £350 on a £5 bet I had today's footy. Well done. Get a few tips next week, please.
Get their money.
Yeah. Hi, Mr. Silver Fox. I don't know how Arsenal got on today, but they're playing Norwich in the relegation 6-pointer. Evening, gents, he says, as much as I hate to admit it, United are serious title contenders, especially if Ronaldo keeps this up throughout the season. Thank you. Do you agree now, guys? Serious title contenders quickly?
Yeah, I've got to agree. We should be up there, definitely challenging. Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Sorry, go on, talk. Yep.
Yeah, we should be on paper, but going from that performance today, like Mike Green said earlier on, the first 40 minutes, we were absolutely terrible. Now, again, we come up against a better team who does what Newcastle did, but better. Where do we find ourselves then?
I so disagree with that.
I disagree as well.
So disagree. Like, it's probably, for me, one of the best performances we've had probably the best performance we've had all season. And I think, like, this...
Whoa. We've had 3 games.
4 games.
That's our
Fourth game, but
it's the best performance we've had all season so far in the 4 games, no?
What, the Leeds one, maybe?
Leeds one was good as well. But
listen, no, one sec. Leeds, we absolutely smashed Leeds to bits. We bollocked them. They didn't know where they were coming and going. Right? That game now we just watched there, again, just go back and have a little look at how difficult we made it for ourselves.
Leeds have terrible defense. Terrible.
They're very open, yeah.
Their defense is always high. Anyone who plays them with the way they play us will always smash them. The thing with Newcastle is they put 9 players behind the ball. Chelsea, City will find it difficult as well. Look at City. City today, okay, Leicester are a good team, but City today, I mean, they only scored 1 goal because Leicester also were putting players behind the ball. Like, I think we have to look at context here. There is no way we can be negative today. No way. We did the job that was asked of the players to do.
Just to add, that's an exercise in breaking teams down. You've got to be patient, keep probing, and eventually you'll get with the talent that we have, you'll get your goals. But maybe we need a bit more patterns of play. Moving on, let's just finish these questions, and then we can have a proper discussion, guys, because I'm loving what you guys are bouncing about with now at the moment. So here's Solo saying, bit upset Ronaldo did not get him his hat-trick. He predicted that last night. Okay, and Andre De Silva says, don't want to hear any more Ronaldo versus Messi comparisons. What does that mean? Ronaldo is the best?
He's basically saying Ronaldo is the best, but okay. I mean, that's
a question mark, I think, still. Solo says, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. This is the Man United agenda. That's right. Linville says, I don't want Rice, way too much money. Yeah, there was a lot of money they were asking. But he played well for the Euro in Euros and last couple of games for England. I thought he played really well. Lingard's a good substitute, says Papa Stewart. Sorry, I'm missing comments here. Don't listen to my child. I think he's been drinking his rum. Romeo, put the rum away. That's it. So don't listen to his child. Mr. Silver Fox, Arsenal fan, says talk, trying to play it down. Be excited, man. Arsenal won by 1-0, by the way. Well done, Arsenal. So, Agbameyang, was it?
Aubameyang, yeah.
Yeah, and Solo says, big 3 points today. Let's go against West Ham next week. And Young Boys, of course. All right. We're not going to focus too much on that. I'm just going to read out the side now. What we started, we've had De Gea. And then I'm going to ask you guys a quick question as well about this.
Yeah.
De Gea starting, obviously, in goal. Right back was Wan-Bissaka. We had Varane, Maguire in their usual positions. Shaw, left back. Then we have Matic and Pogba, 2 guys in midfield, okay? None of them you would call enforcers or real DM. They had a lot of possession today. Greenwood's on the right-hand side, Bruno down the middle, Sancho was on the left, and Cristiano Ronaldo down the middle, up front, playing as number 9. Okay, just to start this off, I'm going to throw this out to TALKMU first. TALKMU, what do you think about the fullbacks today?
Fullbacks, Wan-Bissaka doesn't offer much going forward. So I like defensively, but yeah, Luke Shaw didn't really do as much as I thought he was going to do. I think Luke Shaw was maybe relying a little bit too much on Jadon Sancho, but Jadon Sancho was didn't really show what he's all about. To be fair, today it's not the Jadon Sancho we've seen at Dortmund. Let's have that right. But again, this is a thing for me. Is why I'm a bit frustrated by it, is because surely players of such caliber like that and that intelligence should understand. Listen, I'm getting outnumbered here. Whenever you try and pass me this ball, I'm swamped and I can't do nothing with it. Like you said, that meant Dortmund. So what the actions that should have been taken there is then, you stay there and you hug that line, the ball comes to you, then they're going to either have to come out to you or they're going to afford you the space for you to look for a cross or somebody, a runner, get it over the top, do something with it. But we didn't do that. This is what I'm talking about. This is why it's not, for me, there's still a lot of things that we need to improve on if we are going to go and attempt to win the Premier League. You know, we've got this kid here who can provide us with a lot. Just his threat on the wing, for me, is TALKMU.
I want to focus on the fullbacks. So the reason I'm asking that is because I'm thinking, if we've got a lot of possession as we did today, we're trying to break teams down. Do you think they offered us enough, as in overlapping and that sort of stretching the game wide? Because Newcastle were compact. They could have shuffle. So my issue was why I'm bringing this up. So I think the fullbacks need to offer us a bit more creative, crossing the ball across the 6-yard box than they did today. I was a bit disappointed by that. Just give us an extra option, because otherwise we're trying to force it through the middle. So that's what you think about the fullbacks in that respect.
They should. That's what I was saying with Luke Shaw. He didn't really do much of that. But again, we have to be aware of the fact that with the pace of Almiron and St. Maximum, this is probably why. You know, they have to bear that in mind, because if they get a free run on either side, we could be in trouble. So because of Matic being so far forward, and Bruno and Pogba, it was all a bit risky for them to get too involved and leaving too much space in behind us. And to just
OS, do you want to add to that, please?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with TALKMU in regards to the pace of their attack was probably a reason why Shaw and Wan-Bissaka could not really risk going forward. But on the other hand, I think they could have done better. I think they were not as strong. Like Shaw, for example, was not as strong as we usually see Shaw going forward. But that also, again, I have to give credit to Newcastle too, because every time there was a man on that side, they doubled up on that man on that side. So there was no way that someone could get through on that side. There was no space for someone to get through. Yeah. And when you see the likes of, because I know we're talking about fullbacks, but when you see the likes of Sancho linking up with Shaw right there, Sancho's still trying to find his feet. You can see that he's not fully fit yet. He's not fully integrated into this new aggressive, fast pace. So it affects the fullbacks as well. So I think I wouldn't dwell on that too much right now. Yes, I agree with TALKMU that we need to improve that if we want to win the league. But personally, no matter how many players we get, I'm just concerned that we won't win the league because of the manager. So that's a different situation. But can we challenge with these fullbacks and the way these fullbacks are playing? Sure, yes. Wan-Bissaka is where I'm concerned with going forward.
So Kahinde is talking about Wan-Bissaka there. A lot of, if you watch the live stream, we were discussing about where we thought that Dalot could have come on because we had the ball 75% of the ball half the time. Do you think Dalot would be a great introduction into the side to give us more options when it's having to break down teams that are stubborn like Newcastle?
Yeah, exactly. Because Dalot is an attacking fullback. That's what his game's about. He's not known for defensive abilities. He's a really good attacking fullback. So Ollie needs to think about that option. If we're struggling to break teams down on that side, going forward is not like particularly major strength. Dalot could have added something. You know, everyone wants to see Dalot a bit more. You know, Dalot and Telles are backup fullbacks. Their things is they are known for going forward well. It's just good options, good competition. But like you say, like I mean, TALKMU's talked about it, the wingers. And it has to do with the wingers as well, because it's about our patterns of play. So when Sancho goes in, Shaw's got to go on the outside, give him the overlap and all that. And like OS is saying, Shaw and Rashford had a good relationship last year in terms of they developed that understanding. Sancho's coming in on the left. He hasn't developed our understanding or patterns of play, if we got any yet. He's going to take time to adjust. And same with Greenwood and Wan-Bissaka, there's a lot of guys who were playing on the right last season, like Dan James or whatever. If Greenwood's going to stay there, them two need to develop a relationship and get those patterns of play. So when you go in, I'm going to go on the outside. It doesn't necessarily mean when he's on the outside, he's going to cross the ball in. He's just going to give the defenders something else to think about, stretch the teams out, to overlapping,
Yeah. Okay. So, for the first 40 minutes, for example, as we all witnessed, we were struggling to break them down. So do you think that's going to be an issue going forward when we're playing better teams in the future? So what do you guys, just quickly summarize, all three of you, just summarize very quickly, what do you think we need to improve our breaking teams down? Whether it's 3 points or just 2 points, very quickly summarize for me. Kahinde or OS, sorry, go ahead.
For me, it's one thing. One-touch football. That's what we need to break teams down. Quicker football, quicker passing, one-touch football, and then they don't have time to think. That's the only thing, because we have the creative players. We have Pogba there. We have Bruno there. The issue is when we overthink, we lose it. So I think it's the one-touch football, smart decisions, fast, and then I think we break apart any low-block team we face.
Okay, so I'm just writing this down. So one-touch football.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone want to add to that?
For me, that's the thing. Exactly that. What OS has just said is, and I call that playing in front of teams, where they're coming to the ball, but when they get there, the ball's gone. So you're always in front of them, and then you get the runners in behind and blah blah blah. So but that can only happen if you do things quickly.
So one-touch football, quicker, zipping it around in.
Yeah, we got to be doing quicker.
That's in the final third. Kahinde, anything to add to break teams down? What's the formula?
Saying one-touch football and overlapping of the fullbacks. Because we got pace to run in behind, so the front three. So those two things.
Okay, and I think as well, we also need second runners. People to like today. I'm going to talk us through the goals. But a couple of goals to break them down was when Wan-Bissaka. The first goal, for example, is when Wan-Bissaka went on the run, knowing when we get the ball, but the defender had to go out with him. Greenwood was able to cut inside, have the shot, obviously deflected, and went in. Ronaldo was there to finish up. So I put that down to Wan-Bissaka doing a decoy run. The defender had to go out there rather than double up on Greenwood, and then suddenly Greenwood, he can go either way, got his shot off on his left foot, and that kind of thing. So the four factors.
That's what I'm trying to make before with Sancho is hug the line, because it's going to drag them out, and if they don't and they just think no, it's fine, we're going to let you have that space, he then is not hurried into trying to make a decision, which it's inevitably turns out to be the wrong decision. We either lose possession or it goes backwards. So
I've just added that to our point. So our 5 main points for breaking teams down is one-touch play from OS, zipping passes from TALKMU. Kahinde says overlapping fullbacks. I'm saying off the ball movement, and Rise is saying again hug the touchline to sort of have more width to stretch the play, so the defenders have there's more gaps, they stretch them a bit more. So that's our tips to you, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when we come up against these tough teams. One of the 5 strategies to win. Just come and see us. Anyway, moving on. We'll talk about the midfield. Pogba, Matic is a different midfield today. Usually we used to Fred in midfield there. What do you think about Pogba and Matic? Someone take that for me, please.
I can start. For me, I think it's okay for games like when we have a lot of the ball like we did today, but I don't think that midfield can do it against a more industrious midfield. If we're playing against the likes of Liverpool, or we're playing against the likes even of Leicester, that midfield is too slow. It's way too slow. So today, yes, but future going against stronger oppositions, I wouldn't go there. No.
Sorry, so just going to throw this back to you then. If we were to make one midfield signing before the transfer window, who would that have been, and how would that person make a difference to this midfield? What the deficiencies that you just highlighted?
To be honest with you, that's a difficult question for me because everybody has their defensive midfield. I'm still looking for the defensive midfield because I'm looking for a defensive midfielder like a Carrick, and I don't really see him around. This is the issue, you know. People are calling out Rice. I really don't believe it's Rice. People, of all the names that are being thrown out, Neves is the closest, I would say. But even Neves, I still don't think he's at the level that Man United need right now. So I really can't answer that with a specific name right now because I haven't seen someone out there.
So Kahinde, you're nodding to OS like he's rapping and toe tapping and giving a thumbs up. You add to that then. So who's the player that you would have brought in from midfield, and how would he make that difference from what we had today?
I think Neves, because of his quick passing, 1-2 touch, and he's got a better range of passing than any other CDM. You know, he's not just like A to B, pass it long. He can shoot from distance as well. He's got, you know, a lot of weapons. And he's got that experience in the Premiership. He was captain of Porto when he was 18. I think he is good enough to step up for Man United. He just needs the platform.
So what do you think of today in Pogba and Matic?
I already touched a bit about Matic being too slow and taking too many touches. Pogba's going to play. We know that. Matic, he's too many touches. I want someone to zip it. Someone like Van der Beek could have done that today because our centre backs are so strong. We could afford to play someone like Van der Beek next to Pogba today.
Yes,
you know, because they're not going to get in behind us. So, you know, someone like that. And James Garner, really, next season, I want to see him in the first team because
it's funny.
And he's perfect for what we need in terms of his range of passing, his first touch, everything. He passes the ball clean and crisp. You know,
it's funny you say that because I watched the under-21s for England the other day, and he had Conor Gallagher and Garner and another man in midfield, and they're really popping it about. And we see today for Palace, Conor Gallagher's having a ball out there, he's playing well. So it shows, given the opportunity, they can really do it. TALKMU, do you want to take that one about the two midfielders and who you'd bring in and what difference they would make?
I couldn't agree more with Kunde there. Get somebody like Garner in there. There's more value for Ollie to get this lad in the team now, you know, and give him, especially early season, you know, and getting the experience now, starting to build up in the Premier League in the first team. But if that's obviously not going to happen, then for me, I've just got a thing for Declan Rice. I'm sorry, but I just think he's so good at reading the game, and so his anticipation and being in the right place at the right time is absolutely sensational. And all we need for him, like a Declan Rice, we don't need like these, you know, long passes anymore. We've got so much creativity in our team. We just need that recycler, but we need a recycler who is super strong and who can be in the right place at the right time, get the ball back, and just simply release the ball to somebody who can create. You know what I mean? So I'd love to see Declan Rice. But in terms of today, again, I agree with Kunde, and I wanted to see it at the start of the game. I wanted to see Donny van der Beek getting a shot. You could have put Donny van der Beek in there with Pogba. Pogba was far too deep today. He stifled his creativity. You could see him. He kept looking. He's trying to look for things and carry the ball too far forward. You know, he's going deep, then trying to run all the way forward. Finding Matic in really crazy positions. You know, like going too far up the pitch with nobody behind. And then Pogba, you see Pogba would see him, and Pogba's thinking, I better drop back here. So but you see Pogba then taking steps back to drop deeper. You're thinking, wait a minute, how's that working here? Why is we've got the guy who's got no legs and is not really that creative in that position? Then you've got our most creative player, we could argue, drop him deeper. It's stupid. It's like you've got it like back to front. It just makes no sense.
We were talking during the game, and I don't think we should really pigeonhole. This is why I don't want a specific player, a DM in that position. I want someone who can do it all. So when you pigeonhole players like Matic, you're saying, "Oh, what's he doing up there?" and Pogba behind him. I think he was comfortable on the ball in any area of the pitch. So I think he does get licensed to do that. And I think when you're intelligent, both players are intelligent. They fill in for each other. I think it's quite useful. So
can I just touch on?
Yes, Kunde, go on.
What about TALKMU saying about Declan Rice? Don't get me wrong. I like him as a player. I rate him as a player, but I don't think he's gonna for what we need. I don't think he's right for what we need because I think McTominay could train to play like Rice. You know, Rice, he's like his thing is about holding his position and things like that. And sometimes he carries the ball and he doesn't need to. I want to see ball retention. I want to see someone good baller, good range of passing, zipping, passing on the floor and things like that. like what we had with Carrick. You know, maybe if Matic was 10 years younger, something like that. But that's the more type of player I want to see. Rice is not in the mold that I like. My top guys would be Neves, Tchouaméni for France. He's like
you said that. You tried saying that. Yeah.
Obi Mikel. He's like Obi Mikel. He's like that sort of player. Or just wait for Ghana for next season. You have after one season in Championship.
For me,
okay,
I think
guys, let's move on. Sorry. Let's move on.
Let's
move on because let's make it punchy. So a few more comments. Limble saying, Mr. Fox, is that the first goal you scored this season? Ask for a friend. This is Arsenal. They won 1-0 at Norwich today. Well done, Arsenal. Sancho needs more time to adjust to the Prem. Do you think that's an issue? Do you think the Prem is that much different to
the German league?
Yeah, it's a lot different to the German league.
Different. Yeah, 100%.
I don't think it's an issue at all, man. He's a young player. He's got a hefty fee also that he's come for. So that's always going to be on his shoulder. I know we say he should not think about that, but it's difficult not to think about it in today's world of football. And he's coming into a team with the expectations from the fans is nuts. So I think, first of all, he has to get his fitness. That's the number one thing. He has to get his fitness because you can see he's one level behind everyone else. I don't think we're going to see the best of him until halfway through the season, the end of the season, maybe even next season. Like, I wouldn't be too hard on him this season.
Okay, just to wrap it up now, Solo is saying at times today the build-up was very slow and Newcastle had the opportunity to have bodies back in the box. So they kept resetting their defence. This is what I'm going to talk about the goals now while we're on that point. So he's just saying they had too much time to get the bodies back in because we were too slow. And then the 5 pointers that we pointed out, how to break teams down, zippy, overlapping, one-touch football, that would counteract that. So just going to go on the goals now. So for the first goal, like I said earlier, Wan-Bissaka done the overlap run, which he didn't really do much. The defender went out wide, Greenwood went one-on-one, shot the ball, and Ronaldo was there to finish his dinner, and he's a predator in the box. See, if you notice how he got this space, got away from his defender. If you look at the slow-mo, the defender was like, damn, for the rebound, anticipation. The second goal, Luke Shaw was driving. Luke Shaw was driving down through the middle. Their midfielders were out of position. They didn't have time to reset. Luke Shaw realised that, started driving into that space. The three defenders were backing up. And because there's three of them, there's a huge gap. Ronaldo said, feed me. And he fed him down the middle into stride, left foot through the keeper's legs. So they weren't set up. Again, as Solo was saying there, they didn't have time to reset and get back into position. Yeah. The scored goal when the ball got turned over, that I made that point. Newcastle were unable to reset their defence. Bruno's goal from 35 yards, they had a corner. I think De Gea done a sort of half volley sweeper keeper kick into the channels. We built up the play. Pogba was involved. Their defence sat back. They were trying to get numbers back. Bruno's peeled off a little bit, received the ball, had time to touch, and beautiful shot. What do you think of that goal, guys? Bruno's goal, 35 yards.
I mean, we've been praying for people to shoot from outside the box for God knows how long. You know, we always say it because one of our issues was always we're trying to pass the ball into the goal, you know, and it just doesn't happen because we don't play football like that. And I'm talking about the last few years. But now we have Bruno, and Bruno shoots from outside the box. I'm not saying all the time, you know, he hits the target. Sometimes he goes in row Z, but I don't mind that in our attacking players. You know, shoot. That's where the goals come from. The first goal, I give a lot of credit to Greenwood because Greenwood is always attempting to shoot, you know, and for someone his age, for someone that's thinking like that, Ronaldo would not have his goal if someone like Greenwood is not thinking positive like that all the time. So that's what I love about Bruno. It's you know, get the ball and he's always looking forward, not side, not back, forward.
Anything to add? I'm going to just talk to you about the fourth goal now. It was Pogba again, kind of like playing around outside the box. They had their numbers. They were in. They were reset. They were in position at this point in time. Martial was on the pitch. What I really liked about this goal, we were playing it in tight areas, and Donny van de Beek was involved. Instead of holding on the ball too long, he just done a simple one-touch pass. People say, "Well, that's easy. That's nothing." But to me, that's how you open teams up. Yeah. The ball, Pogba played it into him. He got the return. You know, and then Pogba played it into Martial's feet. He must have got a call from Lingard. Martial let it go through his legs, a bit like Dwight York and Andy Cole against Barcelona. 99, go and check that out, that goal. And Lingard got it out of his feet in the box and slotted it into the corner net, similar to the England goal he scored the other day. So there's a variety of goals there and variety of ways of breaking teams down. A couple times when they're out of shape, we exploited it. The last goal, for example, when they're in shape, 1-2 touch football was really good. Anything to add to that, guys, about the goals today? Anyone? Throw it out there.
I'd say the last goal was probably the best goal. That was my favourite goal. Actually, saying that, I didn't see Bruno's goal. Bad streaming. But I just want to touch on a point you're saying.
Yeah.
Wan-Bissaka played his part in the first goal, and this is what we're talking about, the fullbacks. Had he not made that overlapping run, could Greenwood have cut into a done shot? So this is what I'm talking about. I think a lot of people slate Wan-Bissaka a little bit too much, and I don't think going forward he's that as bad as people think. He's got the legs, he's got the energy up and down. It's definitely something that he needs to improve on, but that's the sort of patterns of play that, that I'm looking at in terms of breaking teams down, giving the defenders something else to think about, fetching them out.
Wan-Bissaka probably had the best cross of the game. Do you remember that?
I don't know,
but it was 6-yard box.
That was beautiful.
And he played his part in the first goal. So.
Yeah, you even saw Ronaldo really give him props for that, because that's the type of Ronaldo was asking for.
Yes, Mr.
Everyone
B.
say hi to Mr. B quickly.
Big up, Mr.
Yes,
B.
Mr. B.
Listen, for me, I know I've been harsh and I've been demanding.
You certainly have.
I can tell you one thing right now. That is, Ollie will be even more harsh and more demanding than I am been in that dressing room after this game.
I hope so.
Of course you will. You always want more. You always want better. This is what we strive for at Man United. So for me, I'm never happy unless we've absolutely, one of those performances where we've just done exactly what we've been talking about. Move the ball quickly into the spaces and bang, and just took the mickey and just slaughtered the team. Then I'm happy. Then I'm really happy.
Can we talk about the goal we conceded though? Because we should really get a clean sheet today. To be honest. So what do you think was the factors why we out of position?
Can I just talk? I've made a lot of notes during the game. So obviously it's about giving the ball away. We got the possession. We gave the ball away, and Harry Maguire, as you touched on earlier, Kinde, he tried to intercept the ball and didn't at halfway line. So we were tracking back. We still had numbers there. But what's his name? Saint Maximin, he was driving at players, and we have to back off because he's so dangerous. And then this is what I'm saying, off the ball running from Mandila, what's his name?
Mandio.
The right back or the full back or whoever he is, he was made off the ball run. And because when they were breaking earlier, they had no one to pass to, but he done a gut busting run and called for it and got into position to score. And I think David De Gea gave him a bit too much angle, like Salah's goal against Henderson last year. I don't even remember that. Gave him too much of the goal to see. But once again we conceded. But I don't know. That's the way I saw it. I'm not going to be too critical yet. I think we need to over the next coming weeks we will be.
Sorry, can I just ask?
Over the next coming of weeks, I'm going to be analysing a lot more goals. We're all going to contribute to that. So. This is why it's important now to sort of touch on these things. The game's just been played. I don't know what you guys think, but that's my.
I just want to ask: should Maguire have gone for that challenge, or should he?
Yes, he should.
Yeah, but the thing is, I understand where Kunde is coming from. There is because, firstly, for me, he was a little bit out of position.
Yeah.
Secondly, he shouldn't have been selling himself. Yeah. Because he panicked. It was
he did that against Tottenham last season as well. Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So from that point of view, it's as long as that doesn't happen too often, and that's the problem there. And we don't want to see it. We don't want to see that again. To be fair. So, but the points are in the bag, I suppose. But still, I'm still not 100% happy with the performance.
No, I don't think any United fan should be 100% happy with the performance. Of course, there's always ways we can be better. Like TALKMU earlier, you were saying, you want it to be like, when's the last time we've played what you were expecting today? When's the last time we played like that?
It was last season, wasn't it, against Leeds when we slapped them 6-2.
Yeah, against Leeds defenders halfway line. I mean, it's easy to do that to a team like Leeds. That's why we have to really be careful with our criticism of the team. But at the same time, I agree with you. We have to improve in our patterns of play, and we have to improve at really controlling the game, not having possession, but controlling the game. And hopefully it will come over time. That's all we can pray for right now. that we can dictate from the midfield. We don't have a DM that's doing that, but we sure have good players around the pitch, and it's up to the coaches now to really implement that if they can throughout the season, because there's no excuse. Really, there's no excuse now.
Great points. Guys, what I'm going to do now, just going to go through the team. I just want you guys to score, quick summary, what you think. Yep. So starting with David De Gea.
For me, he didn't have to do anything. Didn't have to do anything, really. Like, when do we remember De Gea doing anything? So, what are you rating it, or do you want?
I want a score and a just brief summary.
5 out of 10 for me. Didn't have to do anything.
Rise.
Yeah, he did make one really good save though. Actually, I remember he made a good save. So I'm going to give him a 7.
Wow.
Okay, Kahinde.
6.
Yeah, and 6 for me. I think he gave too much, showed too much of the goal for their goal. Wan-Bissaka, we just touched him. Kahinde.
I'll give him a 6.5. I think he played his part in the first goal, and he didn't have a bad game.
OS.
6.
Anything to add?
I just think he got going forward. There was, and I'm not talking about just his attacking play, but he did lose the ball. Like, I think there was one time we actually gave them the ball and they got into the attack, and there was only 2 defenders left. So I can't give him higher than that because he really needs to improve that aspect of his game. But he also was playing against a really dangerous man, you know, in terms of speed. So it is thing. That's why I don't want to give him a 5, an average performance. I give him just a little bit above 6.
TALKMU.
Yeah, I'll go with Hyundai, a 6.5, and the 6.5 is because of his part he played in the Greenwood attempt, which ended up in the goal. So,
and I'm the same. I'll give him a 6. The 2 centre backs, I'll go quickly. I've given them both a 6. Didn't have much to do, and like say the Harry Maguire issue when he went for the ball. I think you got to go for the ball because you got to trust the guys in behind you. So 6 and 6 for me. 2 centre backs. Kahinde.
I'll go 7 and 6. Varane 7, Maguire 6.
OS
7.5 and 7. I give Varane 7.5 and I give Maguire 7. They won every ball in the air, and they were colossal in the back.
Rise.
Yes, pretty similar, to be fair. One mistake from Harry Maguire doesn't really giving him a real telling off or anything, but just going to learn from it. So I'm exact same scores.
Okay, so that's Matic and Pogba.
Sure.
Sorry, beg your pardon. Yeah, Luke Shaw. Go on, OS. Then you go.
6,
Luke
6.
Shaw.
Luke Shaw, I'll give 6.5. If I gave Wan-Bissaka 6, I'll give Luke Shaw 6.5 because I feel like Luke Shaw was stronger going forward, and he did his job defensively, and he also set up a goal. So I'll give him 6.5.
Rise.
7.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I just thought because of the presence of Jadon Sancho on that side, I just think he was expecting a little bit more from Jadon Sancho, but didn't really sort of bear fruit. So, but I'll give him a 6.
Okay, Kahinde.
6.5.
Okay, I'm going to give him a 6 as well. Pogba and Matic together. I'm going to give them both. Matic a 6. I'm going to give Pogba a 7. I thought he'd done pretty well with the ball, that's his forte, isn't it? Kahinde.
Yeah, I'll give Matic a 6 and Pogba a 7.
OS.
Matic 5.5, I would say, and I would give Pogba probably a 7. 6.5, 7.
Rise.
Yeah. Matic was in some odd positions at times, which I found a bit strange. Pogba was trying, but he was doing far too much, in my opinion, when we stifled his creativity. But I'll give it 7 Pogba's, 5 Matic.
Next one up, I'm saying Greenwood and his substitution, Martial. Kahinde, please.
Greenwood, I'll give a 6 for his part in the goal. Martial, I'll give a 5. Didn't see much, even though he's involved
late.
last goal. Yeah.
He done a good leave the ball, step over, let the ball go through his legs for the goal. OS, Greenwood and Martial as a sub.
Greenwood 6, I would say 6.5. Martial, I would give about 6. 5.5. I'll give 5.5.
Rise, what do you think about Greenwood and Martial?
Greenwood's definitely got to get an 8 for me. It was he did well for that first goal. Martial, 5.
Okay, I'm going to say the same, 6, and I think I'll give Martial 6, considering he came on and left the ball like that. It's really good when you look at that goal at the end, the last goal. I thought he made it. If it wasn't for him, Lingard wouldn't have got the ball. Next up, Bruno and Donny van der Beek. I'm just going to quickly say Bruno, I still think he needs to drop 10 yards deeper. I'm going to give him a 6. Sorry, I beg your pardon. I'm going to give him a 7 because for that goal. And that goal was fantastic. And Donny van der Beek, I'm going to give him a 6 because I like what he did with the one touch. It might be simple. Anyone can do it. But that's what he brings us. Kahindes, Bruno and...
I agree with you. 7 and 6. Bruno, 7.
OS.
I would say, again, 7 and 5.5 for Van der Beek. I wouldn't give him more than that.
Rise.
Yeah, agreed. Give Bruno the highest score because of the goal. It was class.
Yeah. Okay, so next up we have Sancho, and he was replaced by Lingard. I'm going to just quickly say Sancho was pretty poor today. I know he's got so much more in him. I'm going to give him a 5, unfortunately. Hopefully that won't happen again. And as for Lingard, he's come on and scored a goal. So I'm going to give him a 6 for that. Kahinde?
I'm going to give 6 to both of them.
OS?
I think I agree. 6 and 6.
Okay, and TALKMU?
Yeah, I'm going to go 5 for Sancho, but I'm going to give Lingard a 7 just because he was in the right place at the right time and his goal.
You guys think we're being a bit harsh on Sancho because he was running at players, he was trying things.
I thought what I saw he was doing all right. Like, it's just the expectation. It's the expectation, and Sancho's game's not about blistering pace. He's more of a kind of creative guy, start, dummies and all that. So
this is what I'm saying. Donny van der Beek. Everyone said Donny van der Beek doesn't play well because people need to be on his page. Same applies for Sancho for me. I'm waiting for people to really get on his page, and then we really see the greatness of him. And lastly, there's someone who had a little second debut today. I think his name's Cristiano something. Cristiano Ronaldo, guys. Who wants to go first on this? And this time, I want to score. All right, I want to score. I want a brief summary where you detail how excited you were. I want a brief summary about his game, because we would be talking for weeks and weeks. Yes, Kevin, how you doing? Maestro now. Yeah, I want a brief summary as well, how he performed. Yes, Kev, my man, how you doing, bro? That's my brother-in-law, Big Kev. Yes, big on the Man United agenda every time. Now hang out the washing. And so with Ronaldo, I want you guys to give a brief summary about how he performed and is he playing in that position that you want him to? Because there's been a lot of speculation about where he would play and how effective he'd be. So who wants to go first on this?
I can go. Ronaldo for me, I think I expected him to play up top. There's no other position Ronaldo will play at Man United. He'll be our striker, which I think is the best position for him now. I mean, he had a very good game, but we know also he can do a lot more. He can do a lot more. I think he can do a lot more. Yes, he scored 2 goals, but he's a world-class player. He has that in him where he doesn't have to have the best game, but he will still make a huge difference. Same way kind of like Bruno does for us. So, I will give Ronaldo an 8 because I still see the ceiling that he can get to with Man United. But what more could do you want to ask from him on his debut? He came in, he raised the expectations from the crowd, from the players. It's one of my favorite games I've watched in a long time. Like, I was excited all week building up to this game, and I was so annoyed of the international break. And I got everything that I wanted. But I know he's going to give us a lot more nights like this, and where he even plays even better, I would say. So 8 for me.
So Rise, you hear that? You got an 8 from OS. And OS is usually quite shrewd. What do you think about Ronaldo? What about his impact on the game? What about his position? And what about what more do you want to add to that?
Well, he gets a 10 from me. He gets, of course he does. He's like one of the legends of the club. He gets a 10. He comes on and gets 2 goals. He's a total pain in the neck for Newcastle. But then he's trying to work it with Bruno. Bruno was getting alongside him, which I think was making it a bit difficult for Ronaldo, for him to try and get into spaces, because then you've got somebody else taking up those spaces. So for me, and then what he brings to the team is absolutely priceless, and you can't monetize it. That's all. So he gets a 10. It's just world class.
Kahinde, you just heard that. TALKMU give him a 10 out of 10, which is a perfect performance. What do you think about Ronaldo today? A brace on his second debut. What do you think about his position that he's playing for us and the impact he's going to have on the club?
Yeah, that's the only position that I could see him in. He's not going to be on the wide areas. It's not like when he's 18 no more, 18 years ago. So I'm going to give him an 8 because I think the first goal was so important. That it's just before halftime, and it's like we needed to break them down. We were struggling a bit, and he comes up with that. reactions, you know, things like that. So important. And then obviously the second goal was just as important because bit of panic, we just conceded, and then he does that. So he's a hero. He's a hero. So I'll give him an 8.
So that's 8. I'm also going to give him an 8. I thought the 2 goals were just priceless. People might say, "Oh, it's easy goals, finishing your dinner," but he had to make the run and stay on side. So this is something that he's got great IQ, and he's still got the pace to get away from the defender and anticipate before him. And the second goal I thought was really good. I mean, to be running off balance with a man on your back and still shoot with enough power, even though it went through the keeper's legs, was impactful again. So great brace debut for our man Ronaldo. And going forward, I'm happy with what he's doing up there. He's not doing too much running. He's got other people doing the running for him. We just need to feed him a bit more, and he will score. So on that note, I think we're going to wind up now because we've gone 55 minutes on a game. Talk about Ronaldo, talk about so many things. I think we covered a lot of topics in here.
Yeah.
I'm really grateful to have you guys on here because you really opened my mind to a lot of points as well that I wasn't really considering as well. So even though we might have disagreed on a few things, I think overall we're happy. Yeah. 2, we got 5 pointers on how to break teams down. Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3, we'll be back on Studs Up to discuss it some more. That's on Monday night, 8 o'clock. So are you going to sign us out, TALKMU? God bless you guys. Thanks again. And thanks for all the comments. See you again. 4-1. Welcome back, Ronaldo.
4-1, yeah. Don't forget to fax that piece of paper to Ollie.
Yeah, of course.
Exactly.
Do it in
See you
about
later, everyone.
2
Thank
seconds
you.
flat. Big up.